lovely good morning to you, our viewers. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. I am your host, Miriam Kayemba, and in studio, I am not alone. I am joined by my beautiful colleague, Zipporah Mshara. Good morning, Zipporah. And you know, I wanted to say welcome to the Breakfast Show, but anyway, I'll do the honor. Welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Thank you, Miriam, and good morning.
Did you exercise in the morning today?
And I'm going to exercise along with our fitness puppy to make sure that we're fit and healthy.
You know, the fitness puppy has been doing a very good job in ensuring that he gives us those, you know, exercise tips that we need to look out every day in the morning as we do our exercise. But anyway, right up and now, let's get direct into our morning boost before we tell you what we have for you in store this morning.
Hello. I'm your boy Harrison, aka the Fitness Puppy, once again, and we are here at Chonzi Fitness Gym, and today we are going to do spinning for probably 5 minutes or 4 minutes. Okay, we can go. You have to insert here. Make sure that the foot is wrapped around the belt. Then you now start. Okay. So the benefit of spinning, it actually helps boost up your metabolism, and it also helps your cardiovascular system. And physical benefits, can tell it also helps you with the calves, the legs. Okay. So we go. Since I have less time, so I'm going to just speed up things. So I'm going to harden here my adjustive knob. Then I stand. Take it slowly. Take it slowly. So this kind of movement helps the gut muscles here, and when you take it down, it helps your calves here. Let's go. So take it slowly, slowly. Okay, then I loosen my adjustive knob. I sit down again. So you can also do a full body workout while having a stationary bike, but I'm not encouraging for those who have the bikes, the normal transportation bikes. Yeah, but if you have a stationary bikes, you can also do a full body workout. Okay, here we go. So start with the back squeeze. Back squeeze. Okay. So from there you can go to side to side. Just for like this. Okay. So this one really helps the shoulders here. Okay. Then from here you can go to one hand lace. Let's go. this kind of movement also helps you in your shoulders. Keep going. Okay, then from there, you harden your digestive knob. Then you stand again, all the way. Stretch your legs. Stretch your legs. Keep going. Stretch it up. Stretch it up. Stretch it up. Stretch the abs, and we can call it a wrap. Okay, guys. Then after here, you can just stretch. Okay, then you come this side. Do your stretch. Okay. From here, you do your back stretch. I mean your what is your chest stretch. Okay, then you tap your toe here. Hold. Do your back stretch. Okay, and we are done with our workout. Remember, it's about your health. You've been with me, Harrison, aka the Fitness Puppy, here at Chon's Fitness Gym. Bye bye.
I hope you enjoyed that morning exercise. Myself in studio and my colleague Zipporah, we did enjoy that exercise from the Fitness Puppy, indeed, Zipporah.
It was quite involving, but we did enjoy it.
Yeah, it was quite involving. But right about now, we go direct into our healthy corner and just see what the doctors have for us.
Hi, good morning and welcome to the breakfast show. And today we are on the health corner. We're going to be talking about stroke. Yesterday we talked about what is stroke, and we say that a stroke is a brain injury that occurs when there's a blockage in the blood vessels in the brain, or there's a bleed in the blood vessels in the brain that causes a reduction in oxygen levels in the brain, and also blood supply generally to areas of the brain. So today we'll talk about exactly what causes someone to have a stroke, and also the risk factors that predispose someone to have a stroke. So like we have already mentioned, a stroke comes about when there is a blockage in the brain blood vessels, and also if there is a bleed in the brain, that causes a stroke. So what are some of the risk factors that somebody predispose someone to have a stroke? So one of them is diabetes. So people who have diabetes are prone to have stroke because of the high blood sugar levels that can lead to so many other complications in the body that can predispose them to have hypertension, predispose them to have high cholesterol. So people who have diabetes need to be able to check their cholesterol levels, their blood pressure levels. The other thing is your BP, of course. Hypertension is a risk factor for having stroke. So hypertension will not only cause a blockage in the brain, it can also cause you to have a bleed in the brain. If you have high blood pressure and your pressure or your blood pressure increases to become very high, it can cause you to have a stroke because of the high blood pressure that is there in the blood vessels. So it can cause a bleed in the brain, and it can cause hemorrhagic stroke. The other risk factor is high cholesterol, like I have already mentioned. If you have high cholesterol, especially the bad cholesterol, which is known as the LDL cholesterol, this cholesterol can cause clots, or not really clots, but it can cause clumps that can cause blockages in the blood vessels, in the brain especially, and this can lead to having an ischemic stroke. The other thing that can predispose someone to have a stroke is age. So people who are older in age are more likely to also have stroke. And also, males are more likely to have stroke than females. However, when a stroke attacks, when a female gets a stroke, they are more likely to die from the stroke than males. So the other risk factors include inactivity. If you do not exercise, you are always not exercising and not being active, you predispose yourself to having stroke. The other risk factors include not eating healthy foods and also not or taking too much alcohol and smoking tobacco. So alcohol is not good for our health. Even smoking is not good for our health as well. So if we engage in alcohol and tobacco smoking, then we are increasing our chances of having so many lifestyle diseases, and stroke is one of them. So these are some of the risk factors that predispose someone to have a stroke. So today we are learning that there are some causes of stroke that can, some risk factors that can predispose someone to have stroke, and these include having diabetes, having hypertension, and having high cholesterol can predispose you to have stroke. Also, we say that not exercising, not eating healthy, and smoking tobacco and drinking alcohol can also increase your chances of having a stroke.
Thank you so much for still staying tuned to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. I hope you did get one or two things there from the doctor who was just, talking about the causes of stroke. But right about now, we go direct into our money market before we introduce our guest, our first guest this morning. So we have the United States dollar. They are buying at 19 kwacha and selling at 19 kwacha 37 ngwe, and we have the euro. They are buying at 20 kwacha 45 ngwe and selling at 20 kwacha 85 ngwe. We have the South African rand. They are buying at 1 kwacha 08 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 10 ngwe. We have the Great British Pound. They are buying at 22 kwacha 91 ngwe and selling at 23 kwacha 36 ngwe. Zibo, when you check on the United States dollar, there on the buying side, it's almost going close to 20 kwacha.
That is quite scary, Miriam. And with the price of fuel, many people have actually predicted that maybe we'll even reach 30 and surpass it. And so this will mean that the price of commodities will continue increasing. So that is really, really scary. I hope we'll see it being corrected very soon. But anyway, just now we have been joined by our guest for the first topic, who is Mr. Patrick Chama, a mental health activist and also a student at Levi Manawasa Medical University. And so it's just going to help us discuss the impact of divorce and gender-based violence, GBV, on the community. So this can be on children in general, because we've seen that many children who are the result of divorce, emanating from GBV, mostly become, drug addicts or just end up on the streets. So we're looking at the general impact of GBV on society. So remember to join us by calling the numbers that are scrolling on your screen. Just now open our phone lines or leave us a message on Facebook. Good morning, Mr. Chama.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. We are glad to have you on set.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, maybe to start with, maybe you can just, in general, you have been a mental health advocate, and what do you think what is the impact that gender-based violence and divorce has had on society of many years?
Okay. So I think I'll talk on the mental part of it. How is it impacting the negative part of mental health? So in a society where we live, we'd find that the divorce cases, they are high. And when we talk about GBV, they are also high. And I think this is one and the same. Initially, the divorce cases, they are coming as a result of GB. And other reasons to why people are divorcing nowadays is because of the shattered expectations. Sometimes you find that they are not achieving whatever they intended to achieve in that relationship or marriage. This is why things are turning up. Now, I want us to get to know that all these things that are happening, the divorces cases, the GBA, they are causing more harm, especially on children. Not only that, they are also impacting negative in the sense that most of our mothers, or let's say ladies, they are highly being faced with social economic challenges. Okay, so as a result, these are the people we are seeing in the streets, being some of them that they're involving themselves in sexual activities just to earn a living. So there are a number of issues that really coming about every day, every time and each, knowing that divorce is not as good as it may sound. Then we want to talk about the children, okay? Because when we talk about divorce, it is impacting both our mothers, fathers, children in their homes. I think so. It's about both parents and the children. So on the children part, you find that the academic performance is so poor. I think they're being faced with academic problems. Then we talk about behavioral problems. When we talk about poverty, it's as a result of how these people are not taking the divorce as it's supposed to be taken.
Quite interesting. That do remember to join us via call or leave us a message on Facebook. Now, Mr. Mwenya, Mr. in Mr. Chama, yeah. In Zambia, have we taken issues of counseling seriously? Do we have, for example, or do people even consider going for counseling when, if do they consider taking their children for counseling if they've gone through a divorce, or do they just move on, and so eventually this negatively affects children?
I think from the analysis that has been done, no, not that much, because I think my ex-girlfriend had I think the time I found her, she had faced with the same issue. Her dad got separated, the mom also the likes. So the behavior was something else. I tried to encourage to go for counseling, she couldn't. So especially on ladies, some of them they don't open up so easily. Sometimes it will take time, especially the quiet lady, those who have the character of quietness, you find that they don't open up so easily. So that one is an individual. Okay, it takes someone who takes. Okay, it's about individual brilliance. That's what I would say. But as much as counseling is being done, nothing is.
What would you suggest now? Does it looking at the impact that this has on society, do you think it's now high time that as Zambians, as citizens, we should take such issues seriously? Of if a couple go through divorce, the children are taken for counseling, do you suggest we start doing that now?
Yeah, obviously, yeah, it's an automatic thing. People need to do that.
And how do you think this will help save more lives?
I think it's of 100%, because do you know that some of these issues we're talking about actually are just surrounding over the mental health part, the mental conditions. Do you know that divorce and GBV has got so much negative impact on the society? Sometimes you find that there are such addictive behaviors where people they end up abusing alcohol, cigarettes, and other stuff. So you would find that if we are to consider putting those measures of encouragement and other stuff, probably we can reduce in this addictive behavior that you are seeing being portrayed in the streets out there. Trust me, you would find that most of our brothers, those who are being found in the streets, because maybe the dad left a long time ago. Have a friend of mine, like where I work, you'd find that you would come in a different mode. I want to spot out his name. You come in a different mode. So at this time, I took time to analyze the situation. Say, boy, what's going on? Like this time you're in a good mood. This time you're that. The other time it should be yesterday I was involved in a fight. So these behaviors, I understood to say the mom left way back. The mom left, and the dad died. The grandma took over. Now he has got more responsibilities and the likes. So you find that some people have got a lot of burdens inside them. As a result, you don't have a breathing space. So what we need to do is, as we who are trained, especially the mental health therapists, those who have done psychosocial counseling, we need to use more of we need to be more psychology, so that at least when you apply that knowledge, you need to observe. Some people, they cannot open up, but when you observe, have a nice talk with them, and obviously we are going to reduce this kind of behaviors, because it's not helping. Economic wise, we are reducing, everything is being affected.
Now, we do have a comment here from one of our viewers, Malesu Given, who says, GBV affects the victim mentally and physically. It has a long-term impact. Divorce, on the other hand, affects both husband, wife, and children. So maybe your response to the viewer out there.
Of course. I think we are talking about one and the same thing here. When we talk about the emotional intelligence, GBV has done so much impact on it. Why? Because some people, they tend up to be moody. Some people, they tend up to be depressed. How would you know? A depressed person, or depression itself, we describe it to be a persistent feeling of sadness and loneliness. Okay? Persistently, like someone is ever sad and loss of interest. So we find that people are not interested in things. The way you're interviewing me here, you're just not interested. I think that you are at work, but you're not there. So the continuously, the persistence feeling of sadness and loss of interest. So you'd find that the way she has contributed, you'd find that someone who has gone through that, who has experienced that, who had that experience of maybe has been abused in the home, maybe had experienced divorce, you'd find that they will continuously having that feeling of sadness. They are continuously facing those challenges of losing interest easily in things. So they want to have at least the strong relationship. They cannot build strong relationship. I think that they cannot have a long-time relationship with people. They end up switching from there to there, from there to there. So these are the people who actually it end up increasing the number of divorces again. You are abused back then in the house. I think that. So these things are working together. This GBV may lead to continuously having and experiencing what we call divorce. How? This is an individual who has been abused, who was raised in a home where they were never loved, they were being insulted, emotional intelligence is destroyed, psychological intelligence. Now how does it impact the physical one? This is why now we are coming up with the disorders. I think that how does it affect? How does the emotional intelligence affect the physical me? You find that there are other disorders that comes on play. I think that because the human functioning is inside us. What are these? You find that there are disorders such as eating disorders. Someone will be eating abnormal. I think that someone will be eating less. So physical wise, they are being affected. So there are a number of issues that we need to consider that comes on board.
Talking about gender-based violence, we have seen that, as a country, Zambia, we have continued recording high numbers of gender-based violence in communities. Talk about Kanyama, we have done a lot of stories with regards to gender-based violence in a lot of communities. We have seen, various stakeholders coming on board, doing more sensitization, but the cases still continue to going, up. What is it that we are failing? Where are we failing, to address this situation so that we eliminate gender-based violence completely?
Okay. So the way it is in life, what I believe, a lot of people talk about things, but they don't act. I think that sometimes people there in the office. Okay, what we need right now is at least money. Money to be there in the circulation. I think that if the government of today can fund it and they empower youths through doing sensitization, there are a lot number of youths who have been trained. There are a lot of issues who have done psychosocial counseling, but what do they need now is to apply that with the knowledge they have acquired. I think now how would they take action if there are no monies? Because obviously, in my the way me have planned for this year, I would want at least to reach to as many people as possible, especially within Lusaka for now. That is taking actions. So what we need right now, Madam Medium, is funds. Listen, we need funds to be coming up with programs where you're able to go and maybe let's say we visit Kalama. Listen, we give them something, then we're able to tell them, we encourage them. Some people, they're abusing. Like, you need to understand the causes of GBV. You need to understand the causes of this divorce. You need to understand what are the causes. Mostly you find that, number one, sometimes it's because of economic status. I think economic status. People who quarrel over just in Shima. Everything. So what we need right now is recreational activities. Those recreational activities are not done by miracles, but they are done by what? Continuous actions being done from the government and individuals. Everything. So we need to put much effort in ensuring that, when action are taken, it will attract. I think it will attract those people who can be there to fund it. So what we need now is funding, so that those people who are doing my awareness, who are doing whatever, they are now going there, because not everyone who's able to watch. I think that. But if I'm able to reach out to as many people as possible, and some people would want to open up, they would want to have at least personal counseling. So for that to be achieved, there's need of funding to be there.
Have you seen that political will maybe from relevant stakeholders to ensure that, there's enough funding to go into areas such as counseling? Have we seen that, or is there need for more advocacy from stakeholders like yourself?
Well, politicians themselves are not interested in those activities. So I don't really think that is achieved, no. Why do I say so? You'd find that most of the politicians, the only thing they're interested in is getting a vote, and not getting people the best health, not creating the best image of people. I think. So I think what is important now is people should realize that leadership or anything to do with leading people shouldn't be just about getting from them or chewing from them. No. What you need to do is getting the best image for the people. So now how do you put the best image for the people? Is by ensuring that you help them, okay? You help them health-wise, isn't it? Economic-wise, that is what is supposed to be done. Otherwise, it's for our leaders to realize. This is why we have the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health should be there as a guidance of health reformation. In the health reformation, there must be the best health, mental health, isn't it? There must be these people are trained in psychosocial counseling. They should also undergo GNC exam so that they are given an opportunity. I think that when you go in the hospital, I think I was in 2020. I was in soccer. In soccer, the thing I witnessed is that a clinician will be abused. I think that I'm doing mental health, but I was doing counseling. I would do this, giving that. But the thing is, there are a number of people who are trained. So what they need is that the government should manage the funds well, so that even these people are not given or are not employed can be given a chance. Even people who have done to my certificate in maybe psychosocial counseling, maybe HIV management, TB management, can be given a chance to perform their duties, rather than abusing a clinician or a doctor or a nurse. I think that when there are other departments that can be created, I think that must be done or must achieve. My financial management must be there, especially our leaders should consider that.
Mr. Albud, cleric member, who says, Mr. Chama, what impact does GBV have to the children? In fact, it should read on the children and the parents involved psychologically. Also, what role can the community do to minimize gender-based violence? So that's a question directed to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Abud. So the negative impacts that you're talking about, number one, we mentioned the education-wise. Okay, the education-wise, there's poor performance. Most of these brothers and sisters out there who have been abused, continuously abused, they're being traumatized. I think that they are living in fear. I think that continuous anxiety. Okay, continuous this feeling of fear, the loss of interest in things. You might find that someone is in class, they're not paying attention, they've just lost interest in getting the knowledge that they're supposed to get. So all these things affect the children, especially those children who are at school. Okay, not only that, they continuously addiction is part of the thing that affects.
And we have a caller.
Hold your thought. We have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. We seem to have lost that code. Do call us back. You can continue, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. So addiction. So you find that those people who are, especially the children, I'll put the age between 10, 17, 19 teenagers, you'd find that most of them, they are so addictive to drugs. Are you seeing? Why is that age? Because that is an excitement age. They are excited, but they are abused. But they are abused. So what do? The self-control cannot be to the maximum.
Let me just hold your thought here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You are through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning? Mrs. Mtonga from Lusaka. Good morning, ma'am. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, the events are talking about the counseling. The counseling stating that many counselors who are done the counseling is between the counseling and the doctor between the application is just clear. I feel that this is a person, there is someone who is counseling. Counseling is just the everyone who is involved in the plan is cancel the person or the plan. It's not only the psychosocial counselor who are supposed to cancel the person or the plan. It's not in the physician or the doctor. They need to cancel the person. That is my direction. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Maybe you can finish your earlier thought and just acknowledge the caller's, contribution there.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Tonga. Yeah, I think what she said is true. I think the best counselors begins from the homes where we are, then extending to the working places. So here is the thing: it doesn't limit us. Doesn't matter whether you are educated or not. As long as you are gifted, you can do it. Go ahead. This is why marriage is not just for the educated, not just for the working class. But the thing is, even for someone who's able, sometimes even the educated, they tend up to have the most vulgar relationship in their homes than those who are not educated. So what is important is having self-awareness is what is important. Know yourself. If you know yourself, it's easy to tell someone about other things. But if you don't know yourself, why would you tell other person? I think so you might lead others into the ditch. So what is needed right now is to have the right ideas and a good approach. That's what is important. That's what's important. You're not limited, Madam Tonga. You can go ahead, do the counseling. But the thing is, are you using the right approach? Because in the right approach is you start the mood of someone. Because you know that depression is a mood disorder. I think. So we understand all these issues. But the thing is, having the right approach is what is the key here.
One thing that our caller also mentioned was that you did give a comment that social counselors should be given this opportunity, to counsel people in hospitals and what. But she also mentioned that, this is not only the job of psychosocial counselors, but anyone can do it. A doctor, other people are found in this medical field. Do you feel, because you did allude that, it's more like they're being overworked, overwhelmed with this all work stuff. But do you think it's in the right capacity that we have, to really relieves the the stress from these other medical practitioners? Let's talk about the doctors, and then only let psychosocial counselors do the job of counseling to individuals.
Well, I think that faculty must be there. Why? Because we are talking about giving youths something to do. You see? So I think my talking there could be, yes, let us say social counselors do the work. Why? Because we are creating job opportunities for them, as well as we are relieving stress from the doctors. Sometimes someone will advise you things because they are overwhelmed. I think, the morning atmosphere, you are cool, you are everything, you're able to give a good advice. I think that what I'm talking about is relieving stress from these guys. They will be able to give the best advice. So I think it can be of the great help. They can do the job, but I think giving someone who's trained in that area can be of great help, obviously.
Now in Zambia this year recorded about 15,000 divorce cases according to the latest data from the local court. What do you think is perpetuating this cycle of thousands of divorces in a Christian nation, for that matter? Is it an issue of lack of investment in mental health services? But anyway, let's just pick that call before we proceed. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, you're through to the breakfast show. Can you tell us your name, where you're calling us from, and your contributions? Okay, you can go ahead, Mrs. Ntonga.
Yes, I feel we need to comment on what the developer is saying. I feel something is something that is universal. And the student is only system. I think it is a patient can come and a young can come. It's the best contact with the man is the clinician, a doctor. And it would be very unwise for a clinician or a doctor to refer with a client to a psychosocial counselor. The first contact the man to sponsor the client or patient first. Often those people refer with the psychosocial counseling. Because counseling is not one day thing. It's an ongoing process that needs to be done maybe for several reasons. During those several reasons, that's when you can take a counselor and family. But in terms of counseling, also I'm going in the health facility. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that contribution, Mr. Chama. Maybe you can respond, although it was not really such of a question, it was just more like a contribution.
So let me respond to your question. I think what is leading to this rapid increase in the divorce cases in our country is, I think it's not about being a Christian nation. It's about how the management in terms of resources. Do you know that if you understand the causes of these divorce cases in our homes or in people's homes, then you will be best give the best conclusion. So number one is like shattered expectation. Like I said, you expected that, okay, when I marry, I think I'll have the free peace of mind. Then someone is giving you stress. This is why I find that the marriage won't work out. Okay, when I marry, I think there will be a better, at least improvement in this area. Poverty in Zambia is a thing that is best leading to this, what we call major contributor. It's a major contributor to these divorce cases, poverty. Trust me, today, people are suffering out there. People are suffering out there. We are suffering out there. Poverty is the major contributor, okay? You can soon end up with bed with Nanjara. Whether be a Christian or what, it's hard. I think that it's really hard. And most of the, what I've observed when you go in Kabwata, Kamala South there, you find that a man is not working, he's just sleeping, laziness. And the woman goes in the morning, you know, come back and those things, I think that sometimes people are not cooperating well. And laziness is another thing which is contributing to this. I think laziness is the thing that is contributing to a high increase in the divorce cases. I think that. Then another thing is, okay, the major, another thing is the socio-economic status. You're getting that? Socio-economic status is a thing that is high.
So like poverty, more like poverty is perpetuating or rather increasing the number of divorce cases.
Yes, of course. So what I think what is needed to be done. Yes.
But if you know, poverty is the major contributor of divorce cases, 5 years from now, are we going to see a reduction of high divorce cases in the country?
That is dependent on how the government work. Because I think our father of this nation, His Excellency, is doing the best in ensuring that he provides the best services to us all. And I can see his plan is to make sure that he reduces poverty by 2030. So obviously, I think we are going to see, I have so much confidence in our dad. If his plans are going to be fulfilled according to the time, then obviously we are going to see a slight decrease in the poverty level. But again, it's not about our dad. It's not about the government. It's about individual brilliancy. I think it's about individual brilliancy. It's about you taking actions. I think that's what is supposed to be done there. Trust me, a lot of people there, they're just moving up and down without having any, I think that, without having something to put up on a table. The whole issue here is that we don't have enough food on a table. And when there's no food on a table, someone cannot stay. Someone cannot stay. Why would you stay in a home where there's no food? I think. So these are other things that are contributing. But I think we need as a country to rise, okay? Especially making sure that entrepreneurship is highly appreciated in our country. At least if you have something that is putting up food on a table, better that way. And someone will be able to stay. You know, a home where there's food, there's all these basic needs, is a happy home. For you, madam, to be here, Madam Zipola to be here, is because you are well dressed, you have eaten, obviously. You have somewhere where you're coming from. Are you getting? But there are other people just languishing around the streets and they are planning to marry. This is why. I mean, I really don't understand. And you're just languishing.
So you're saying like so there should be, you should have a minimum source of income. There should be a threshold saying for you to get married, you should have this to make sure that you don't divorce.
Maybe you should have a job or what, or you should, you know, have a certain
business
amount of money in your bank account for you to, you know, to get married and ensure that, you know, you don't make someone's daughter suffer.
Even the daughter shouldn't make someone suffer.
Anyway, concluding remarks as we wind up on this topic.
Yeah, so
we have a caller before we conclude. Okay, I'm sure I can just go ahead and pick up the call later.
So, guys, let's reform. We need to make sure that we shun out the idea of waiting for government employment. We need to shun out from that idea and make sure that we embrace the idea of entrepreneurship. That's my advice to the fellow youths.
So are we going to see you setting up a mental health center once you finish at Levi Mwanawasa?
Of course. That is one of the projects I work on. It's one of the projects.
Okay, let's see if we still have that caller there and try to pick up that call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. And we seem to have lost that call. Please, you can just go ahead and give us your concluding remarks as we wrap up this segment.
Okay. So, thank you so much, our friends out there, for support. What we need right now is to ensure that we have the mental health to be recognized and highly appreciated in our country. And we are kindly requesting for the government of today to look into it, that they should fund the mental health sector. I think not only that, they need to have at least the best recreational facilities for our country. I think that's what we need as a country. And on the other side, since we are talking about divorce cases, please may you help us, the government of today, when you're budgeting, ensure that the social aspect is considered. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless us all.
All right, just now take a short break before we transition to our next segment, which is issues affecting communities in Zambia. So we have many issues like floods, we have security concerns, we have the poor state of roads. So what issue is affecting your community? Just after this break, we're going to expect your calls just to help us discuss today's topic. Let's take a break and join us thereafter.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Thank you so much for still staying tuned to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. We are glad that you have continued, taking part in our conversation this morning. Our viewers there, keep those messages coming from Facebook, and those watching us live in the comfort of your home, please do make those phone calls coming. Right about now, Zipporah, we did see you yesterday. Just zooming in the stories that made headlines yesterday, we did see you doing a story on where the UPND Mbala constituency member of parliament was calling for DMMU, to move in and help a number of people in his constituency there. Maybe you can just speed us up before we play that clip.
Yeah, so anyway, these are issues affecting most rural parts, and this is in Southern Province, where the MP was saying a number of roads have been cut off in the constituency, due to the floods, and children are not able to go to school because the bridges have been destroyed, the roads have been cut off, they're just staying at home. So this is something, he said over 1,000 children are not going to school. So he said that this negatively affects the education. He says pregnant women are stranded at home, they can't go for maternity services. So this, of course, even increases maternal mortality, because you find that more people are giving birth at home. Do they have the adequate health care? And all that. So in short, disasters are really a problem in these rural areas, and it was just calling for proper infrastructure construction, because you're saying that in 10 years in his area no road has been constructed, no bridge has been constructed. But we do hope to see that they themselves now, they use CDF to actually build these things.
And it's so sad that 269 houses in his area collapsed due to floods. So bad. Anyway, let's get direct into playing that story. We'll continue with our discussion when we come back.
Natural disasters have continued, causing a regression to progress made in various parts of the country, such as in the area of road and bridge infrastructure, as many of these get damaged after a heavy downpour. The situation has been more pronounced in rural areas of the country, with places like Zambia's Southern Province experiencing torrential rain, which has seen many people being displaced. United Party for National Development UPND Mbabala constituency member of parliament Joseph Musanje says a number of roads and bridges have been cut off in his constituency due to the floods, leading to houses collapsing, while many school-going children have been forced to stay at home, calling on the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit DMMU to move in.
Over 1,000 children are affected in the constituency from schooling, and this affects mothers because they can't access the hospitals. Macha Hospital is at the center of the whole constituency, and a lot of routes that lead to Macha Hospital are flooded. So we've got pregnant mothers that are stuck on the other side because they can't come to the hospital in all directions, from Kavanze, from Chilantambo, from Kavimba and all that. So we have this very big challenge, and we'll continue to call on disaster management to quickly move in with all the materials to restore the life of these families that have got collapsed houses, because they need to go back to a bit of normality, to have at least shelter and to have some clothing and some dryness where they can live normally.
The MP was speaking to Camnet News at the University Teaching Hospital UTH, where he, along with other MPs representing 20 others, went to check on party members who have been hospitalized at the facility.
As women, we are mother figures among these male MPs, so we are always there for them, so that we give them the courage that despite you being members of parliament, we are mothers, you are like our children. So when they see us, they feel good. This is why I'm here. And Msabata, when he saw us, and especially me as a woman, he was very happy that, okay, if you
have one member from Southern Province, commonly known as Nsabata, and then we have another lady who was involved in a road traffic accident from Sanfia. So this afternoon we sat down as members of parliament, especially from Southern Province, and made a bit of contributions towards assisting these two colleagues who are not feeling very well.
We are the leaders, and I feel that is what we are supposed to continue doing. I would also urge our members, the mayors, the councillors out there in the other districts, when our members are in such kind of distress, it's very important that we show up and provide that kind of a therapy that we feel that it will bring about a sense of belonging to our mighty United Party for National Development, and people, they will feel that they are part of the government that is in power, and they will feel that at no point does the UPND membership neglect its member who is not feeling well.
The lawmakers have urged leaders not to use party members, stating that they should offer them and their families moral and financial support, even in their lowest moments. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Gulumajiba Bridge in Kaindo Chiefdom in Mumbo district of Central Province is on a verge of collapsing if no proper attention is given. Crispin Hamamba and school learners are concerned about its state.
The bridge ya jati ya areas wonse we are go chief Kaindo. Then ogulima farmers banji maningi bakuti tomato ko is bakweno. So amati mota inda is a challenge. Then bona mulimbo twasiye gino mura irawa every day. Ongo muri clinical. So amba twazwa basiri wabo kusota babo. Bonji abantu baherera munzira. So guli mugaye twagahara ino. Wali ya clinic no kwana kamboti road. Bona mumwaisia moto katema hivyo. Moto gagwya iraga gwinda. Abona muntu wabora wambati bamugeza gwe to yago clinic yasika moto yabora gwinda. Muntu wahara munzira. Mbara hara bana baraho. So ngoma cherezi manyi ngotu bwana. Hivi ni bahichi bora. Nabaja na bridge yazure bahichi wota bahibinda gwe
imapezeka ati mvula ngayaloka, so sometimes bridge imazula ikazula timasoba na kopita. Sometimes zapeza ati mvula ngayaloka usiku, kusema zapeza ati vimanzi vili kupita hapa, so zapeza ati ku school talova sometimes bweza pa mvuyo in terms of kusta present ku school. So tempa chema chikonzele ku bridge at least wakati anganapo na load. In fact inapoenda ku school kuja ku bridge inangu ineve mazula ikazula vimatika romangana nsapato, so zenze matika che kuseni yonse. So tenza tempa chikonzele ku bridge batianganeko na load na eve bachikonzele ku inkaleko musho konse kwenda kusogolo mwenda kumumba ku road nyono ngeka che.
Farmers in the area have also expressed concern over the bad state of the Kamirambo road.
Mentapeza kono road yafa tifuna ko road titina maleves manje lepo ukaitiola kuti mupita peto it needs 3 days 4 days. As a result nishirevu vaonongeka na matomato kuti vipite vintu tapeza challenge. So tunzofuna kuti government please if possible not liti kudari wabura watikonzele ko road at rest in she takonza covid. Otherwise as at now monga road vemwa yonera kulibe vabwino.
Meanwhile, Mumbo District Commissioner Namkulo Hayumbu, who toured the area to appreciate the cry of the residents, has made a status quo to relevant authorities.
The road is impassable. A lot of trucks which are carrying farm produce, most of them are perishable. We are talking of tomatoes, rape and other vegetables. Maroons on the way because there's nowhere they can pass. We have a tractor which is trying to pull them, but there are so many spots which are bad. And us, with my team, who failed to reach the bridge using the vehicle, we had to jump on Hondas for us to reach at the intended site. With the community, I appeal that they should have patience because we've taken note of what the problems they're going through, and we are going to relay the information to the relevant authorities.
Matthias Chewe, Camnet TV News, Mambua.
Quite a sad state there, so we hope that those bridges will be fixed soon. Anyway, moving on into zooming the headlines, we have another story here from a senior Patriotic Front member, Dr. Chimba Kambwili, which reads, Patriotic Front presidential candidate and member of the Central Committee, Chimba Kambwili, who spent a night in police custody for committing a crime of unlawful assembly. Police earlier charged and arrested Chimba Kambwili, aged 54, of Woodlands area in Lusaka, for the offense of unlawful assembly contrary to Section 79, read together with Section 75 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. This is in connection with a protest march held last week by youths led by Charles Kakula, who marched against the high cost of living and rise of the practice of tribalism under the United Party for National Development, UPND administration. Remember, Miriam, last week, that protest took place where they actually dropped near the former head of state's home. They actually went in a bus and they were dropped, near his place. They said they were protesting against various things in the country. So, really, one thing, Miriam, if someone is saying a protest, I don't think they should organize people in a bus. I don't know if it's Dr. Chimbakami organized them, but that particular protest was, those people were ferried in a bus and they were dropped off near ECO's place, to start complaining about the high cost of living, tribalism and all that. So for me, if it is something genuine, I feel like it should be just spontaneous, maybe people from different parts of the country or something. But if you just say, if you carry people in a bus, other people are going to say, it is organized.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, quite interesting. And I think what I found most interesting in that story done by Patrick Soko is that there was the preparation saying, bring my mattress, bring this and that. But anyway, please, let's take a look at that story and join us in the conversation.
Monday, Chishimba Kambwili, one of the candidates aspiring to take over the presidency of Zambia's major opposition political party, the Patriotic Front, woke up to police presence at his Woodlands residence in Lusaka. Armed police officers stormed Mr. Kambwili's residence with the motive of arresting him in connection with a protest march held last week by youths led by Charles Kakula, who had marched against the allegedly high cost of living and the rise of the practice of tribalism under the United Party for National Development administration. Mr. Kambwili, who predicted his fate on the likelihood of him spending a night in police cells, had to take care of housekeeping matters.
Mattress, my medicines and everything.
Mr. Kambwili later handed himself to the police for interrogations.
And we were informed that their plan was that they wanted to force their way into my premises and house and create a narrative that I was a fugitive running away from the police. So that when they don't give me police bond, when they charge me, they say he was running away from police, to create a narrative why they want to lock me up without giving me police bond. But when we realized that, I called the lawyers quickly and we reported ourselves as planned. Because we wrote to them that I was going to come on Monday, and I've come as promised.
Another PF aspiring president, Emmanuel Mwamba, says the move is tantamount to victimization of opposition political party leaders in the country.
We've said Zambia is not a police state. Zambia is a democracy run by the rule of law. Many Zambians celebrated when the Public Order Act was repealed. Little did they know that the police will find another law which they'll be using against political opponents.
Danny Mwale, Zambia Police Deputy Public Relations Officer confirmed the charge and arrest of Chishimba Kambwili for the offense of unlawful assembly.
He has been jointly charged with Charles Kakula, who is already in police custody facing the same offense. It is alleged that the two, whilst acting together with other unknown persons, did unlawful assemble, causing other persons to reasonably fear for the breach of public peace. This occurred on January 26, 2023, between 08 hours and 12 hours in Lusaka. They are detained in police custody awaiting court appearance.
By broadcast time, the suspect was still in police custody. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Quite interesting there. And Miriam, there's something else that I saw yesterday on social media. I don't know how true it is, but there were these trending things saying a snake has been found in the cell. But anyway, I hope that justice prevails there, you know, because we're trying to ensure that justice prevails regardless of political affiliation. We also saw yesterday All People's Congress Party APC President Mr. Nelson Musoni condemning the arrest of Dr. Chishimba Kambwili, stating that Zambia should be a tolerant state because, you know, it's a democracy and all those things. But anyway, I'm sure the police have their own reasons for the arrest, because every time when an arrest is made, there's always, you know, a charge given. So I don't think they can just arrest someone because they're in the opposition.
Yeah, like they said, it's because of unlawful assembly. So we're yet to see more details coming from the
police. And I like the
here.
part of bring my mattress here.
Exactly, I was about to say that. You know, imagine, you know, I was telling you in the background, imagine each and everyone, if they get to be arrested by the police for an alleged offense. Imagine how many people, if they call, you know, for their mattresses. Imagine how many mattresses we'll have in these police stations.
So it shows you the state of sales, because, you know, one is not guilty and one is innocent and two proven guilty. So there's no reason for people to be, you know, living in cells in dilapidated conditions, being beaten, tortured. Last week, Miriam, we did see, you know, a suspect being beaten in police custody. Not the story that I did. Of course, there's that story that I did, but then there was also a video which was circulating on Facebook where it is alleged that the suspect, you know, brought, is it alcohol in the cell? And I'm wondering,
and he was beaten.
And, you know, people are saying if this was in a female cell, if it was a male police officer beating a female suspect, you would have heard human rights organizations talking. But now it is the opposite. They're saying, hey, strong woman of this and that. But, you know, we need to support or rather enhance human rights.
Yeah, in as much as, you know, that was bad, that what that person tried to do, you know, sneaking in alcohol in police cells, in as much as it was bad, it was also bad for the officer there, you know, taking the law and hitting the person. She should have just locked the person up than, you know, ended up abusing that person. But just on Dr. Kambwili's story there, we did see, you know, the NDC leader, Saboyi Mboela, you know, commenting, saying his arrest is uncalled for. We saw the United Party for National Development, when they were in opposition, they used to condemn such arrest. Why are they doing this now? It's not like, you know, he was in a public place. These youths came at his residence. So, you know, she was condemning about this. But anyway, we hope to get more details from the police and just find out exactly what is happening, as well as various stakeholders that are still commenting on this same issue. In case you are joining us, please do send us your call, and those watching us live on Facebook could drop us a message and give us your thought, what you think about this particular issue. Yeah.
Quite interesting. And then, Miriam, we did introduce our topic to our guests where we said we're going to be talking about, you know, various issues affecting Zambian communities, because when we're talking about Zambia, it all, you know, comes down to communities. What issues are affecting various communities? Just yesterday, Miriam, we heard of, you know, the outbreak of cholera. Is it Luapula?
Luapula, yes.
Luapula, and we still have, you know, for example, this problem of, you know, indiscriminate.
And Luapula, we now have, is it 7 or 6 cases, confirmed cases? And
the ones in Vubu keep rising. According to the latest data is from the Ministry of, the last time I checked, I think they were on 16.
There were 36 when we checked yesterday, yeah.
So you see that it's not a COVID, they keep rising. And so Zambia really should not be battling with things like cholera, 50 plus years of independence. Man, we need to invest in good, you know, sanitation, infrastructure. Just 3 days ago, we're in Kalingalinga, Miriam, and you can't tell me that cholera will not break out there in Kalingalinga. While we saw pit latrines submerged, pit latrines were underwater, and this water is flowing onto the streets, So really, and when I talked to the councillor there, he said there's the provision for emergency funds under the Constituency Development Fund. But for you to get those emergency funds, Miriam, you have to apply normally, like a project proposal. I'm like, are these emergency funds?
Imagine, I thought emergency funds you don't have to, go through all those procedures.
He said maybe we expect something to be done by the end of this year because we have to apply. Yeah, he was like, I will apply under CDF, but there's a provision for emergency funds, but we have to apply normally. For emergency funds,
then why is it called emergency funds?
Because the council was saying that it defeats its purpose. So he was actually calling for a revision of that.
Interesting, Zipporah. And talking about the issue of sanitation, we have seen, that there's need for us as citizens to take it up upon ourselves to ensure that we keep our environment clean at all times. Zipporah, when you go to certain areas, you'll be so shocked that people do not even care how they keep their surroundings. So this is one thing that, people should be cautious about and ensure that they take the issues of sanitation with serious concern. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, quite interesting there. So do join us via the phone lines or leave us a comment on Facebook. Just now, take a short break as we get joined shortly by our guest to help us discuss today's topic. Join us on this short break.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet television, not just another channel. For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet television, bringing to your screens.
Thank you for staying tuned in. Just now I've been joined by Challenge Award 8 Councillor Mr. Ruben Mwenya, who's just going to help us discuss today's topic of issues affecting communities. So we did mention that many of these issues affecting communities include floods, the poor state of roads, as well as security concerns. So he's just going to help us, maybe zoom down to his ward. So remember to keep, participating in the conversation by calling the numbers that are scrolling on your screen, or leave us a message on Facebook. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Mwenya.
Thank you so very much.
We are glad to have you on set this morning.
My pleasure is mine.
To begin with, how is Challenge Award 8 doing?
It's doing well. It's doing well apart from the usual floods that, these flash floods that we've experienced last week or two. Yeah, besides, I think we're okay.
Okay, so we know that Challenge Award 8 is one of those that are usually affected by floods. Is it a problem of maybe lack of adequate drainages, or what is causing that problem there?
It's not really like we always experience this. I think there are certain areas that are prone to floods, like maybe Chinika, those around Kanyama constituency. For Kawata, it's not that bad, only that I think this year's rain season is a little bit heavy, leading to the same floods. I think you've seen these floods in southern province where they've really worsened. So it's not like it's something that has always happened, but I think just changes in the climate in the weather changes. We are experiencing a little bit of floods, especially in very bad states of roads. That is where mostly we have that, and also where residents have maybe closed the drainages, because I think this is what has been happening. A lot of drainages were closed. They've been built on, either they've put a wall fence, either they've built a house, because there are those drainages also that used to pass in people's yards according to the plan, the way it was some time back. So all those have been closed down and leading to these floods, because when it rains, water has nowhere to go. So as much as we have a very poor drainage system, but over a period of time, I think residents also have contributed to this fact, because they always want to assume, or they always want to, occupy every space that they see to try and either build a servants' quarter or these cottages. Not putting in mind that these drainages that they've been closing one day would affect us. And what we are seeing now may even be less of a disaster of what may yet to come, if really residents also are not really taking interest in making sure that we deal with these issues, because it is themselves that get affected by these decisions that they make. So it's not always good to blame government when you are the sources of these problems that we're experiencing. Yeah.
Quite interesting there. So do join us in the conversation by calling the numbers on your screen. We're discussing various issues affecting communities, or leave us a message on Facebook. So Mr. Monya, do we see some of these issues, maybe being addressed using the Constituency Development Fund? Are we going to see the construction of more drainages in Challenge Ward 8, for example?
Yeah, we are yet to see that. There's that allocation under CDF, the Development Fund for community projects, and those that feel in their areas that possibly drainages should be a priority, I'm sure they'll do that. All of us want to prioritize drainages. Of course, roads comes first. It is something that we are yet to do, but also we still need to deal with people's mindsets. We've got a lot of drainages that are there, but still people use these drainages to dump in waste. Others, they'll just connect to dump in either sewer, or others, they'll just go and dump in these garbages. So at the end of the day, we need a mind set changed in our people, because no matter how we try and bring this development, our own people will be our enemies to our own development. So our people need to change their mindsets. They need to be talked to over and over, so that they can appreciate the importance of this infrastructure that are put there for themselves, for their good. Otherwise, with this CDF, yes, that will be done. Of course, it may not be done overnight. Such kind of infrastructure may take long, and this is why we need to cooperate and also to work hand in hand with the residents, so that they make it easy for these people that intend to bring this development to their areas. Okay, or easy to say. Yeah, that's what I can say, I think.
What are the possibilities that come next year rain season, Challenge Ward 8 will not face these similar challenges?
It will be, I won't be telling the truth if I can say that by next year all these situations will be dealt with. Like I've mentioned, our first priority is to do the roads. So when we do the roads will guide us now on how these drainages are supposed to run. So we can have an opening in Challenge. So where Challenge is going to drain, let's say it's draining to into Bombay, then along the way it has to pass through Libala, then Libala is not done. Again, it will be an issue. So it has to be done uniformly. The first thing should be roads. Then from the roads, I think now we can still plan as a constituents. Okay, now where are we starting from with drainages, so that we connect with wards and then lead to where we need to discharge, because we can have very good drainage system within a ward, but where we are supposed to discharge, there's a blockage, and we have no control of that area. It becomes a challenge. So if I say by next year we won't have this, we may minimize, but not really completely do away with, because the target is to do roads. We can have a little bit of a bad situation, but if the roads are a little bit better, where people can drive their vehicles, where people can access their homes, it is a little bit okay than you have nowhere people to pass, you have those floods, and the roads, it's quite not okay. It's not fair to the people, but also, like I keep saying, let the people help us do these things so that it is helped for themselves.
Coming to the issue of security in Chilenge, basically, are there plans, you know, to put up more recreation facilities, for example, play parks for young people to meet, you know, and, you know, share good ideas for themselves? Because we have seen various stakeholders raise concern that because of lack of recreation facilities in most communities, this has contributed to seeing a lot of junkies in these communities who are who now go into, you know, attacking different residents and doing all sorts of criminal activities. Are we seeing a situation where 3 years coming from now, we'll see Chilenge Ward 8, to be specific, having more recreation facilities for the youths out there?
You see, thank you so much. That is a very important concern, of course, and a question at the same time. I'm glad that you brought that up. You see, sometimes we can really look at these people, okay, junkies, what is really leading to that? The first thing that is leading to this junkie life is that there's so much freedom to sell what is making them junkies, number one. So you find that every corner of every community, you find that there's free sale of alcohol or these drug substances that would make these people turn into what they are today. So we haven't done much in terms of regulating who should sell and where it must be sold. Every home shop that's selling alcohol, they're selling tujiri, they're selling all manner of these substances. So no matter how you take these people where you want to take, when they come back, it is very easy for them. It's just a door away from what they're trading these issues. And a lot of people who are selling these are not Zambian nationals. These are foreign nationals that don't care of the lives of these people. All they are interested in is to make money. So we must start with regulating these shops. We must have certain places where alcohol cannot be sold. And it's unfortunate that we as Lusaka City Council are not really doing much to make sure that we deal with this issue. But again, I still bring it to you people, you the media people. You are the people that are supposed to be exposing some of these weaknesses that we are not doing. Unlike where we just have these interviews like this, there is a lot of illegality out there. Go to Karikiriki, go. There is so much illegality. And we can't have a better society or a better future for our...
Just hold your thought there. We pick up this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You're through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning?
I'm getting the extra from my friend.
It's good to know that you're watching. Please go ahead with your contribution, ma'am.
Sorry for disturbing the one I just wanted to add my campaign also.
Please go ahead.
I say that we Aita tukakumba jamii tunakumba unaipatiwa ndio kama ni manda ndio mtazamo. Sawa udapo watu tukanani. Sisi wakati wa kutaka kwa au kuna control hapa.
Skomo Kwambili, though the question was not directed to you, but we will ensure that, you know, we get hold of the councillor from Kafue there and just see what he's doing for his people in that particular ward.
And we do have another, we do have a comment here from one of our viewers who says, there are too many idle buildings in Chilenge, and that is where junkies hide. Maybe your response to this viewer.
Yeah, so maybe before I respond, I wanted to maybe finish my point. Okay. So you see, so this is why I'm saying that you are very important in this fight of this junk life or this illegal sale of these drugs. You see, when you expose some of these things, we'll be able now to, because sometimes we don't know where some of these things are happening. So it takes you people to help us by exposing and identifying also where these things are. Then we go there and do it and act. But also, we have a problem where a lot of places that were meant for recreation or recreative activities were being sold. A lot of play parks were sold. And it is now that we are trying to claim back most of these play parks. We can't have all the play parks sold to foreigners. What is wrong with Zambia owning their own land and do things that will change the lives of their young people? A lot of play parks have been sold to foreigners, and we are trying by all means to make sure that those are brought back, regardless of whatever transaction that happened. What is meant for the public community, what is meant for the youth must be like that. What is wrong with things that we found, and when we come we want to sell everything? It mustn't be like that. You see, so we are battling with another issue also in Libala, where we are trying to make sure that what belongs to the community should be for the community. So kindly help us by sensitizing and also helping us to see where some of these illegal activities are taking place. I think we've seen also a Chilenje community hall where 2 big containers were mounted, and there's a bar that is operating there, when that place is a public place which supposed to only house either church programs, you know, a lot of community activities. A lot of young people are doing their programs there. There's Africa Direction, which looks at the affairs of the young people. So you can't have the sale of alcohol there and also have such kind of facilities. There's a Home Affairs office there where issuance of NRCs are taking place. So these are some of the illegalities that have been taking place. Of course, it's not something that is easy. We are really trying so hard to make sure that these issues are being dealt with. Of course, there are a little bit of resistances here and there because of some officers, our own officers, that are corrupt. You find that you want them to remove something, they go there, they get compromised. And this is why we've seen our country be where it is today. You close a bar, in the evening you find it is open. Why? Because of officers that are compromised. And these officers, when found, must be dismissed instantly so that it can set an example to those others that are not that are not patriotic to this country and to the service of the people.
Are you sure you are doing enough if we continue seeing these cases on the rampant?
Like I'm saying,
as Lusaka City Council, as Chilenje Ward 8 Councillor, are you doing enough to address this issue if we continue seeing such happenings in the communities?
This is why you need to help us, because we found this council in a very bad state where illegality was a norm. A wrong thing was normal. And we are trying to make sure that we bring sanity. It is not something that is easy, I'm saying. And again, we are not doing much. We need to do much to make sure that we deal with all these things. But also, it is a mindset also of our officers. They must understand that it is not about getting a salary and whether things move or not, it's okay with them. They must have that passion for their work. If it means a person has abrogated the law, let law face or let a wrong face the law. So that is what is lacking also. But I can assure you that we are heading somewhere. I think we've got a team of a few technocrats that have showed that passion and have showed that they are interested to make sure that there is sanity and order in the seat of Lusaka. Also, I must state that this issue of drainages, it is something that has been there, and we are trying to see how best can we sort it. It's a national issue. Look at Limatau, look at Arcades. It's a serious problem. Today we can have these small floods, but there are certain areas where they've even shifted from their homes. Yeah, so it's a disaster arrangement. This is why it needs a national planning to see how best this drainage can be done throughout all the constituencies and all the wards.
What could be some of your concluding remarks as we wrap up this segment?
My concluding remarks is that I want to tell the people of Zambia that this Zambia is their own country. There is nowhere where there will be another Zambia. Or if we destroy this Zambia, there is no anywhere where, there is no place where we go and relocate to, given to us as an alternative Zambia. We are the only people to develop this Zambia, and we are the only people to destroy this. We should not expect any other person, and this is why we must take key interest in making sure that we've got good environments, by making sure what we dispose is disposed at the right place. We must not encourage people who are coming to collect garbage and dump in drainages, because at the end of the day, it will still come back to us, it will affect us. So let us be responsible citizens, let us love our country. And those that are doing illegality in terms of illegal sale of alcohol, opening of bars in the homes where they've turned homes into, it is now a norm where people just rent a house and turn it into a liquor shop or whatever it is. We as council are working and trying by all means to find ways to deal with such kind of issues. Let people be a little bit patient. We are doing the best that we can. It's not easy, but we need their support. Let them have confidence in their leaders. It's not easy.
Quite interesting there. Anyway, thank you for our viewers who actually called in to participate in the program, as well as those who left us messages on Facebook. Earlier on, we were joined by Mr. Patrick Chama, who is a mental health activist, and now we were joined by Mr. Ruben Mwenyachi Lenje, Ward 8 Councillor, helping us discuss issues affecting communities. Thank you for participating in the program. Until next week, Monday and Tuesday. But remember to join Patrick Asoko and Sharon Karimbula tomorrow as they take you into politics. From us, it's have a good morning.